As the founding dean of Urban Success University, sitting now in my second decade as chairman, I want you to understand that I am committed to this institution because I am a MiniUniversity student. There's not a lot of us left who have been shaped, trained, literally raised by our mothers of the movement. Amelia, Isadora, Platts, Boynton, Robinson, Coretta Scott King, Cynthia, Delores, Nottage, Tucker, Edythe Scott Bagley, Rosa, Louise, McCauley, Parks, Amazing, Grace, Banks, Sullivan, our prophetic producing kingdom big sister who inspired all of us to become the us that God has made us, not what institutions wanted to make us into. The founder of Urban Success University, the original Yokemeister, the Yoki of the Yokis, the young organization of kings, internationally serving. Yolanda Denise Scott, that's a Scott woman. You got to put respect on the Scott women. Yolanda Denise King. Most of the generation that built the heart of the movement, our mothers have ascended. Most of their stories have gone unheard. Most of the truth has been replaced by politics, branding, and selective memory. And many people seem willing to just let our mothers fade away. I cannot. My father taught me that the definition of integrity is doing what you said you would do long after the emotion you said it in has passed. And I made a promise. I intend to keep it. No matter the situation, no matter what any institution, any King Inc. affiliate, or any individual wants to say about it. If you want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it, I'm honoring the dying instructions of Edythe Scott Bagley, Coretta Scott's big sister, Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan, and my own mother, who told me to document what really took place for their daughters and granddaughters and future generations to come. And I'm keeping my promise. Martin Luther King Jr. himself, Yolanda's father, Little Yoki 2.0's grandfather, and until you find something you're willing to die for, you have yet to find what it means to live. My mother, Amazing Grace, and Edythe Scott Bagley got me to throw the Watch Night party inside of the King Center's Freedom Hall from a female students of the Coretta Scott Young Women's Leadership Academy and the Community Youth 2011. The next week, my mother ascended. March 15, 2011, Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan ascended. That's my mother and my spiritual mother. The only person I had that I could talk to, other than Mama Morris, was E.S.B.Z., the great Dr. Edythe Scott Bagley. You know what she knew? She knew I had another daughter on the way. And so, I love Isaac. You know, my Bible tells me to love someone, but it doesn't tell me I have to like them. Jesus said, I love the sinner, I just hate what they do. And the foundational shift is a younger daughter. He don't have one. So it's one thing when we're the sons to our mothers, and I don't differentiate between our mothers. I've honored every single one of them. Alvida's and Isaac's. But when you go from being a son to the mamas to being a father, looking at your daughters, realizing that the objectification that they're subjected to is the same that our mothers had to go through. That's what's so inspiring about Rosa Louise McCauley Parks. That the real fight that she went through for black women was hidden. You know what that does? That inspires our young black girls that are dealing with that fight right now. And as their dean, damn sure as their chairman, I'm going to arm our daughters with what they need to fight. This began over the Real Rebellious Rosa Parks Project. Our daughters launching a program called Brains Over Boobs. The fact that they have to launch a program called Brains Over Boobs is in and of itself should be a spirit checker for us. Like, what are we doing? That on this side of COVID, our daughters are subjected to so much objectification as they're attempting to pursue their goals, dreams, and entrepreneurial and academic aspirations, that the only methods for them to perpetuate a bag have their hands on their knees showing off their little speed bumps moving instead of their hands on their keyboards showing off their digital brilliance moving. And on this side of COVID, where our entire business community just got slapped with the fact that business went from brick and mortar to click and order. And we are running our businesses. We don't have time to chase these algorithms that change every week, sometimes daily. But look at God move. Our daughters came out the womb with these things, these little microprocessors in their pocket. I'm the dean, founding, second decade as chairman. Joe Roberts ascended February 2015. I'm comfortable in this chairman seat now. Let me tell you about my female students and immediate past alumni. I've seen them study search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media marketing, AI implementation. Listen, I'm beyond the non-competes, all right, and the non-disclosures. I didn't care about no corporate contract. Whatever new innovative thing that I was able to learn about impacting the entrepreneurial community or technology, being mentored by Fran Tarkenton, I gave to our daughters. And the only thing that they want to do is take a bunch of old paper directories and convert them into digital. And we need that. But because they've been subjected to so much spiritual abuse, then individuals who could get highlighted in the project would rather sweep it under the rug because they got all this funding. Or the fact that the Martin Luther King Senior Center just got $4 million grant from the Public Education Department to come up with a new curriculum. We don't need one. We got one approved by Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan, approved by Cynthia, Delores, Nottage, Tucker, approved by Rosa Louise McCauley Parks on behalf of the Raymond and Rosa Parks Self-Improvement Institute, approved by Edythe Bagley, approved by Coretta, Scott King, Cynthia, Delores, Nottage, Tucker. Hey, how about the fact that the project itself was spearheaded by Yolanda Denise King? You go to Urban Success University and you can watch the case study where we impacted 5 million youth. Don't even worry about it. Once you watch the case study, scroll down and click the Success Academy and you'll be able to see the entire curriculum. 8 chapters, 4 principles per chapter, 32 in all. You can download a digital copy of the book. You can download a copy of the teaching guide. We wrote a 30 to 45-minute curriculum for each and every single point. Because we want to continue what our teachers are using on a grassroots level that's working. We don't want to take $4 million and pay it to our consultant friends who have never been in the trenches in order for them to get paid and our kids to suffer. I mean, that's, Stevie Wonder can see it in the dark. How would Daddy King say it? Let me go ahead and make that plain. So let's talk about Urban Success University. Let's talk about the real story. All right? I'm not just a dean and a chairman. I'm a student. So you kind of understand by this little intro that Urban Success University did not begin as a business. It did not begin as a program. It did not begin as an idea on paper. It actually is MiniUniversity, founded by Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan in the 70s, college for teens, and Cheney campus from Edythe Bagley, who birthed the Creative Arts Department at Cheney, just like Yolanda birthed the Creative Arts Department at the King Center. morphed into a youth department inside of the original King Center, the one that Yolanda Denise King's mother, Coretta Scott King, built as a living memorial, not as a museum. Through the 70s, and she taught me what she wanted me to relay. Let's make sure we are reminded, as soon as she shut her eyes, the board threw her abusive son Dexter out for abuse of power and going against her wishes. He threw out all of those board members somehow, every single one of Edythe Scott Bagley's, and installed our Sambo, the one on the wall of the King Center with Donald Trump and Alveda King, Isaac Ferris Jr. But before he was put in a position of leadership to disrespect Edythe and rewrite the real history, but before all of that, through the 70s, through the 80s, through the early 90s, under the leadership of Coretta Scott King, the Martin Luther King Jr. Center of Nonviolent Social Change was known for its youth programs, known for its creative arts. Do anybody know how much a prophetic songstress Coretta Scott King was? It was known for its drama and arts, known for its leadership development, known and stapled for its community empowerment. That was the heartbeat. That was the soul. That was the purpose. Everything I know about youth work, everything I know about community service, everything I know about spiritual formation began between these women right here. Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan and her two prophetess mentees. All you got to do is open up a browser and go to the Mompreneur Squad. Y'all, excuse me, this phone was off. Go to the mompreneursquad.com and you can see them. Right there. Ain't they beautiful? Amazing Grace and her two mentees. There go Yoki 1.0 mama, Yoki 2.0 grandmama. There go my mama, the prophetess. Everything I know about what I'm doing, I learned in this circle right here. So if you wasn't involved in this circle right here, just watch God move. This journey began 31 years ago. January 1994. See, they want to sweep it under the rug, but the King Center went through a major internal restructuring, and a lot changed. A lot of the programs were reduced. A lot of the youth work suffered. A ton of the creative, artistic work suffered. But something happens that no one wants to talk about. In 1993, the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday became a day of service. That's why his granddaughter, Yolanda Renee King, Martin Luther King III's daughter, who accepted her call to ministry this year in 2025, who announced that the Drum Major Institute, the organization that Martin Luther King Jr. founded, being led by her father, Martin Luther King III, is raising 100 million hours of service, not $100 million. But see, Martin Luther King III told you that on January the 5th, 2012, right after Edythe died. And they placed them in that fluff position, Dexter and Bernice, that King Inc., the monetary arm founded by Dexter, had taken over the King Center, the not-for-profit founded by his mother. See, they tried it January 18th. That's when Dexter went into power. Cut the staff from 71 to 14. That's when he killed a lot of Edythe and Yolanda's staff. When Coretta died, he threw out her board members. So January the 19th, oh, I remember seeing my mother cry. I remember seeing Edythe Scott Bagley cry. I remember seeing Andrea Dash Gray cry. I remember seeing Cynthia Delores, because they was all at Bright Hope in the pastor's office. Next day, hey boy, you going to Atlanta? For what? Yoki. Okay, what's up? What Yoki doing down here? That was January the 20th, 1994. I was dropped off. My two spiritual fathers, William Herbert Gray III, Leon Howard Sullivan. This copy of Bill, Brother Bill was new back then. Go ahead, Mommy Grace. You know, it was Sully who gave Martin Luther King Jr. select patronage. That after he died, they watered it down to Operation Breadbasket. Just like Amazing Grace on January the 20th, 1994, gave Yolanda her MiniUniversity model to utilize to rebuild her youth and creative arts department, but she sent something along. Her little Bible soldier, all grown up, into the commander of the Believing Soldier Battalion. Yeah. January 20th, 1994, it shaped me. This is the moment everything in my life shifted for me. Because this is the moment I was brought in. 15-year-old. Man, I'm trying to tell you, the first number of completion is 3. Second number of completion is 4. If you add them, you get 7. You multiply them, you get 12. They took me off of Kanoa Bay. The base over to the mainland. They went the back way. They stopped by Africa and Togo, changed my name. I hit the continental United States at 3. 12 years later, what? North Philadelphia didn't drop me in the old 4th Ward. Let's get it. I done been down here like a year or 2 before. My big brothers, y'all had this Freaknik thing. I'm starting to smell myself now. I got my own hood to run around, and Dexter and Isaac done pissed off all the young bulls. All I gotta do is back Yoki up, beat up anybody who talks shit about her, bust their ass on a basketball court. Let's get it. I was raised under prophecy. I was raised under purpose. I was raised under the mantle of strong black men. But I was raised on the laps of the strongest black women in the world. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Save the little Richard West African boy like me. Andrea Dash Gray. The Dash. Evangelist Winifred Morris. 1997 Kojic Convention. Bishop Blake himself had to tell these Negroes, listen. I ain't bring her up on Friday night because I ain't want y'all to think this is Women's Night. All right? So don't get confused when you hear this mighty woman of God. What? Cynthia Delores Nottage Tucker. She ain't just found the Martin Luther King Jr. Association. She found the Bethune-Du Bois Institute. First appointed black Secretary of State in this year's Sin Sick United States of America. Did it in the corrupt Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Rosa, Louise, McCauley, Parks. My grandfather's boo-boo. Listen, Amelia, Isadora Platts, Boynton Robinson, is not my grandmother. That's my Uncle Bruce's mama. My little cousin, Dr. Carver, Boynton's mama. Grandmama. My father, Samuel William Boynton Jr., mother, my grandfather, SWB, first wife, Pearl E. Jackson. Listen, but Mama Amelia, y'all go ahead and stop right there. Cause a lot of people got what they read in the colonizer's book. I got what I learned on the laps of my mamas. Ride with my father and his soldiers on their security details. These my mentors. Fuck that. These my mamas. These are the ones who discipled me. My disciplinarians. My protectors. And somehow, when I was a little kid, I'm just speaking real, I used to think they was fucking crazy. A little bit, but it didn't matter. Because they was my mamas, so these niggas was going to shut up and we was going to listen to our mamas. Now, as I've grown older, I wish heaven had visiting hours because I want to ask them how they knew. They saw something in me when I couldn't see it inside of myself. They told me, stay close. We're rebuilding. And rather or not you understand it, when God wakes you the fuck up, you're going to realize how much of a major part of his plan you are. So I stayed. I learned. I served. I listened. I grew. I obeyed. I ended up becoming the last youth and creative arts director of the Martin Luther King Jr. Center of Nonviolent Social Change, appointed by Coretta King, Edythe Bagley, and Yolanda Denise King. I eventually became their dean of what is Urban Success University. You know, MiniUniversity, that passing of the mantle. I told you, it was 1994. Something sacred happened behind the scenes that those who want to monetize want to erase from memory. Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan, the educational genius, my spiritual mama, the mentor of this whole prophetic mama clique. Yo, they killed Martin Luther King Jr. Get over it. You know what Sully went through? Martin marched. When it came time for jobs, economic entrepreneurial self-sufficiency, Sully, he licensed me at 8 because him and Mama Grace were going to Africa. You watch the documentary, Coretta King herself said it was Sully and Grace who introduced her to Mandela. That she said this is the manifestation of the work of the dream. The architect of OIC, y'all know about that miracle. Taught in Progress Plaza, taught entrepreneurial classes in the basement. You know, that contagious magic, OIC on the move. Right? You know, Sully didn't just have select patronage. He took an old jail, 17th in Oxford, and used it to teach us the skills for the bills, to pay the bills. Like you see us teaching the young kings when we building that $1 million home. Well, it's sold now. Right? This. She gave this model, the build, Brother Bill model, to Yolanda King as the MiniUniversity curriculum and told her, use this to rebuild, little baby. And take his little hard-headed ass, talking about me, with you for insurance. I really didn't understand what they meant back then. I do now. They were passing down a legacy. Education, entrepreneurship, arts, culture, faith, community development. The same combination that built Progress Plaza in 1968. Now being handed to us to build something new for a new generation. That's what went into birthing Urban Success University, launched by Yolanda Denise King in 2003. You go to urbansuccessuniversity.com and you scroll down, you can click on the closing class of college fatigues at Cheney campus, 2002. College for teens, success for teens. You know, William Herbert Gray was student government president at Gratz, Philadelphia. Yolanda, student government president at Grady in Atlanta. So they had the vision of taking what our mothers did over the summer and making it year long. 8 chapters, 4 principles per chapter, 32 in all. You know, the Yokemeister told me that this is an unbought, unbossed voice for our urban youth. This is focused on their entrepreneurial, spiritual, and creative development and expression. This is where our children grow. USU wasn't built as a school. It was built as a movement. It blended MiniUniversity, the Rosa Parks, Raymond Rosa Parks Self-Help Institute. It blended creative arts. It blended youth empowerment. It blended entrepreneurship. It blended kingdom spirituality, leadership training, USU, Urban Success University, became the digital successor to the original King Center, King Association, Joint Youth and Creative Arts Department. It became the last space where the real youth model survived. Then came the beginning of this 20-year-long ascension period that we in right now. That nobody want to respect. Like, bro, we can make money. We can be hard-headed, stiff-necked little African kids and not listen to our mothers, but during a sacred period of ascension between our founders, you know, the great honorable Cynthia Delores Nottage Tucker ascended October the 12th, 2005. Rosa Louise McCauley Parks ascended October 24th, 2005, the day after Martin Luther King III's birthday. And his mama, Coretta King, ascended January 30th, 2006. You know, from October 10th or 12th to January 30th, it's 110 days. You know the oldest one is 31. Yolanda ascended. After her mother, the next King holiday, she tricked me. No, I ain't going behind the desk with Warnock. I want you to introduce me. I thought it was for her book and the auditorium, celebrating Open My Eyes, Open My Heart, a celebration of our common humanity. I don't pay attention to the King holiday thing. I didn't know she was a speaker. I didn't know Isaac and Shannon Jones had this thing set up, and she didn't want that to satanically introduce her. I had no idea that would be her last public performance. I wouldn't have been late. You know, when Yolanda shut her eyes, May 15th, 2007, and we got this Edythe King Foundation kicking off, it was God sent for me to be able to lift up Mama Butterfly, Naomi, and the work that she was doing, because she was talking about AD, and AD was rough and rugged, and it gave me a shelter. We'll talk about it much, but in between Coretta's first stroke and the second stroke, my brother died. And they were Priceless Academy, Fulton County Young Women's Leadership Academy. And they were going into the Coretta Scott Young Women's Leadership Academy, opened in August of 2007. And nobody sent Isaac. Nobody sent Shannon. Nobody talked to Warnock. I go talk to the girls. What do I say? I don't know. You got 15 minutes. I get over there. It ain't 15 minutes. It's 45 minutes. It ain't the girls. It's the girls and their mamas. And the little one I gave my iPad to that they play on, got my little canned talks, and ran off down the hall. And somehow I made it through. And they invited me to their graduation. And we kicked it over the summer, and they became the incoming class of Coretta Scott King, and that's great. But you realize that's in Bankhead, and all these great programs that we provide for the kids, they require their parents to have a couple $100, and we got two different tracks. We got the boys over here at Best Academy, we got the girls over there, and inside of what the fuck I was going through, they melted my fucking heart. I love y'all. It was so many of them, I couldn't remember their names, so I started calling them Superstar. And I didn't realize that it meant something to them. And then probably about 2 years in, they started GPAs became a thing. I never went to high school, so I didn't know about that part. And they started saying, well, I got a 3.9, and she got a C. How can she be a superstar? I'm a superstar. We get superstar achievers. And I had a lot of anger in me, man. Let me interject, and I didn't expect to say this, but during the 2020 presidential election, I was leaving a voting rally in Philadelphia. I was heading to a listening party at the Edythe Bagley campus in Wilmington, Delaware. Got pulled over by the Philadelphia Police Department. Distracted from my vehicle. My youngest daughter called me that morning and said, "Daddy, don't die. Don't let him kill you." She threw a temper tantrum with her mama. Her mama called me, "You better talk to your daughter. She needed to be in school. She talked about praying for my daddy. I'm praying for my daddy. I'm praying for my daddy. Nobody gonna take my daddy." And so I was off the entire day. I typically got one of the little babies driving me or in the car with me because they just fun. Instead, they driving in front of me. Some of them driving behind me. And then you don't know about the George Platte Bridge. It's a 2-lane bridge, and I get pulled over. And the ones in front of me got to keep going. The ones behind me, they pulling over behind me. They telling them to keep going. They pulling up with all these cars. So some of the babies go down. They turn around. They come back. I'm looking at a bunch of Philadelphia police with their guns drawn. My baby's on the other side of the bridge. "Don't kill him! Don't kill him! Don't kill him!" Talking about where the gun, where the gun. Now you might not remember during this heated election. That's when a white boy got caught with a 50 cal. That's when the Philadelphia police murdered a boy talking about some mental health shit. And don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. I'm looking at the barrels in the chamber. Now I had fought. It's one thing to fight for police brutality after the fact. It's something else to be staring down at. And they shot me up with tasers, held me illegally for 6 days. And when you go through an experience like that, start to realize who really cares. And I gotta tell you, man, the Dean K's and the hugs and the "don't scare me" and "I ain't never had a daddy" and "you like my daddy." It melted me. That's what really opened my ear up to this. Okay, well, I'm hanging out with y'all because I didn't expect to tell y'all this part, but they said I got to talk to y'all like this. So y'all wanted to know. It fucking hurts me in an attention period. And so, from 2005 to 2007, we lost 3 giants of this shit. We lost Cynthia, Delores, Nottage, Tucker, Coretta King, and our founder, Yolanda Denise King, when Yoki ascended on May 15th. Everything changed. We lost our founder. We lost our funding. We lost our public protection. And all of a sudden, we became like invisible to institutions. But what God wills, He provides for it because we didn't die. We survived by faith. We lived by service. We overcame by community. It lived. It lived because of God's amazing grace. and what she taught us. Y'all realize that was 18 years and 6 months ago? No budget, no backing, except for the anointing of God to fulfill the assignment. You know, this is my last homework assignment. From Edythe Scott Bagley. Don't let her forget her, okay? Y'all know, if it weren't for King ain't blocking us, we would have had the Grady High School named into the Yolanda Denise King High School in August of 2020. Hey man, this ain't easy for me, y'all. This should be a time where we celebrating our mamas. Our daughters tried to launch this Black Women Run the World campaign. They wanted to house at Elizabeth Baptist Church. I got a lot of Atlanta daughters, man. Spiritual daughters, you know. And they took a vote. And God allowed me to use 46 paper church directories. In Georgia, registered 8,200 folk. I can see where folks shifted at. You know who folk loving in the Atlanta metro? Like women's ministry. Lady Oliver. Wow, 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 wow. Say it backwards. They just wow. I wanted to kick off this Black Women Run the World campaign at Elizabeth. Showcase a lot of the Black women entrepreneurs. Be inspired. You know, Isaac and Willie Watkins blocked that shit. Like right now, I you know, during this sacred ascension period, our daughters are praying. I'm literally going in front of a superior court judge on Friday. Because Willie burned our daughters. Like, literally. The Kingdom Marketplace, the digital resurrection of the Progress Plaza, went live October the 8th, 2025. And in it is the amazing Grace Bank Sullivan Entrepreneurship Academy, where our kids graduate with LLCs. A lot of them before they get diplomas. And my pilot class, they got their own little LLCs. Ordered some work from Willie. He ordered it. He placed a deposit. Didn't play the balance. Reversed the charges on the deposit. Said the work wasn't up to caliber, so the girls sued them in magistrate court. And instead of paying the girls, he hired an attorney. Great, whatever. You got money. Go on ahead and waste it. Attorney assesses the case, realized that the response from the merchant service is that this work wasn't up to caliber. He countersues the girls. Like, what in the world? Countersues them and takes them to magistrate court. Now, this is a LLC, and I don't know if Willie Watkins is an LLC or whatever. This is a business debt dispute, easily handled in the magistrate court. The lawyer, white boy they hired, Brian Kelly III, Georgia State alumni, he writes this entire counter suit against our girls about me. Legally. I got nothing to do with either one of these companies. Me and Willie got conversations surrounding Barry and Cornelius Taylor and stuff pertaining to Daddy King. The boys want to honor Reverend Dr. Albert Paul Brinson. And everybody be stiff-arming it. So because our daughters, like Willie got a daughter, Ferris used to be in my youth group. When Yolanda and Coretta and Edythe were alive and they put up kids in the youth department, they put up my son and Willie Watkins' daughter. You never see my daughter standing with Willie Watkins' daughter. Why? Because I hadn't yet grown to the point where I wasn't going to murk Isaac. Disrespect my mamas like you did. What? I told you my babies outgrew this shit. You can't handle real, right? So we gonna clean it up because my daughter cool, Willie Watkins' daughter cool, but all our community daughters, they not gonna get caught up in being your collateral damage. This motherfucker frames this shit around and this whole dumbass shit. And then comes up with a TPO to silence me. We like, what the fuck? Before we even deal with it, judge recused himself. So we like, all right, whatever. And the new judge pops up with this crazy joint, and we like, wait a minute, Your Honor, Your Honor, Your Honor. Pause for the cause. We fundraised to get $3,000 to pay for a lawyer. We hired a lawyer, and the lawyer says, we don't even need to be here. That before you rule on any of the bullshit that Willie Watkins, fake lawyer, got, that you look at jurisdiction because we legally can't be in this court. Like legally. Legally. Like you don't even have jurisdiction over this. And anything I'm doing this ministry. And I'm covered under this new law that Brian Kemp signed on Martin Luther King Jr.'s ascension date this year called Senate Bill 36. And so instead of honoring our mamas, they got these violent things that they doing. You know, it's showing exactly why Martin Luther King III left. Because it's the spirit of his mother. Then it's the Leah Weber running this. Larry Weber from Waste Point Global running this. And when they rewrite the story, they're going to rewrite all our mamas out. And they're going to give you the version that is politically profitable. Fuck that. Arturo, that's Edythe's son. He ain't too bold. Martin III, that's Coretta's son. He ain't too bold. That's why you got this Boynton Scott hybrid. Edythe got Bagley, looked at me, and said, document what happened. Correct the lies. Tell the truth. And do not allow our story to be erased. And I promised her. Promise, this right here is me keeping my promise. Told you my daddy taught me integrity, doing what you said you would do long after the emotion you said it in his past. And so in 2007, let me get y'all up out of here, get y'all up out of here, get y'all up out of here. Apologize, y'all seen my eyeballs get all sweaty. I'm human. 2007, we began this shift to become a social enterprise. Before Yolanda died, she started preparing me for the future. She said, the world is changing and we're going to need to go independent. She and I start planning to move from a nonprofit to a social enterprise. That's the reason why I partnered with Craig Kelly. Craig Kelly has always been oppressive toward me, always talked to me derogatory and demeaning, and in my opinion, always been a racist piece of shit. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And though God had given me the vision of identify, connect, equip to transform from Luke 5, we weren't digital yet. So I needed that old white boy printing press from down Villa Rica. And black supremacy is evil as white supremacy. Martin Luther King Jr. told you that. And all black folk ain't evil and all white folk ain't evil. But that motherfucker and Joe Cutter, that two racist motherfuckers in the world, they cut out every real thing that in a conversation I was having with a lot of real pastors. And you notice a lot of churches got financial kickbacks in the black community. I don't get those. That's what the big challenge is. So, and we got this premise from Mama Nottage. She was known for her events. Matter of fact, she threw Freedom Elegante from Martin Luther King Jr., filled up the Civic Center. You know, her formula was, you want 500 people in the room, send out 5,000 invitations. Okay, mama, a numbers game, huh? So from 2007 to COVID, we did 403 paper church business directories, registered 48,000. Inside of Georgia, 46. Registered 8,200. There's over 500 from Elizabeth Baptist Church, over 500 from New Birth, over 400 from House of Hope before they went through what they went through, over 350 from Impact. Watch this. Less than 70% of y'all paid. And so on this side of COVID, I'm all about this being a ministry, right? Where we're making sure everybody got what they got. You can get registered for free. They not on that. See, Shannon Jones with his little slick ass, you know, from originally New Birth, done hooked up with Ursula Frederick up there in New Birth, and they done partnered with Joe Cutter to come up with this Christians in Business Atlanta. I built it. It's bullshit. It got nothing. I ain't gonna waste your time. I got the video recorded calls with me and Cutter talking about it, and him stepping in the back, talking about what is Jesus and what is not. If you don't miss me with that. So he plays into denominational tyranny. We got Senate Bill 26 or 36. And guess what? When it comes to entrepreneurial ministry, the entrepreneurs need the AI. They need everything. Well, let's see. Right after Raphael Gamaliel Warnock went into office, is that December 2022? Shannon Jones said he got a program going to lower teen violence, put a couple dollars in the pockets of our kids, and help our businesses. Hey, homie, it's 3 years later. We are a week from Black Friday. Beginning of third quarter, the President of the United States announced AI was the head of our economy. We just got out of a 40-day plus long shutdown, biggest shutdown in American history. You and that old lady you got running that entrepreneurial thing over there, you moving all that money with that politics, you got anything yet on the promises you made 3 years ago? Because Raphael Gamaliel Warnock, you made a promise for a tech center. Raise millions. You got a justice fund. Hey, listen, can our daughters that are members that grew up under your pastoral leadership get access to the justice fund you raised millions of dollars for in order to fight your homie Willie Watkins? And Shannon Jones? Defamation? Because the video where, you know, 3 boys get shot in the Oakland City area and Shannon called a prayer rally and no press showed up like it did in December of 2022. When he rode up, he never prayed. Him and his pop, Horace Jones, rolled down the tape and said I was violent. Or said they were going to fuck me up in front of the kids in a prayer moment. This the one Warnock, when Cornelius Taylor died, you went behind the pulpit and edified him for his outreach ministry. But you niggas just told the community y'all had a fight. What the fuck is going on here? What's that song? Seem like you're going in circles. All round and around you go. Like, we trying to figure it out. You kicked me out the sanctuary, stopped the kids from coming to Deacon Marvin Brinson funeral, Christine King Ferris's funeral, Naomi Barber King funeral. But then when Cornelius Taylor died, you need me to walk in. But then that's the time when I'm asking Willie Watkins about the girl joint, and I'm asking this now. Now you got Willie Watkins and Kenley, who right after he got a joint, now Facebook friends real close with Shannon Jones, talking all this negative shit about me being violent in Georgia State. But is that because the last clip we got of Deacon Marvin Brinson is me talking about feeding a veteran? Then you got your do girl, Brittany Johnson and Restoring Hope coming out, creating a scene and a false police report, just like Johnny Waller at Kinley's Catering came and false police report. Are y'all fucked up because y'all put it in front of that black judge, Nakima Williams, and she recused herself, say your timing off? You realize y'all done already danced Reverend Dr. Albert Ball Brinson up for his proclamation and all that. While y'all motherfuckers are trying to do with me, you got your fuckboy Reverend Brunson over there trying to take pictures with him. But hold on, that's your men's ministry. So I know that you're a senator, but 2 boys get shot at Atlantic Station as soon as you go in office. You don't say nothing. 3 boys get shot in the James Orange Park right after I graduated the Obama Foundation, my brother's keeper, and Fulton County Big Brothers Anonymous, boys at the historic Auburn Avenue Library in custom cut suits. Then at the tip of Black Business Month this year, 11 black boys get shot in the 300 block of Edgewood Avenue. You don't say a mumbling fucking word. Your youth minister or your men's minister, he in the fucking Hamptons with you, Martha's Vineyard, whatever the frick you are, showing off a fucking marlin fish. Meanwhile, my boys is dying. Right when you went in office, after we helped your group, Brittany and all them, get all of the supplies, that's when Bear froze to death right there on Auburn. And so because all these things happen, then it's best for you, right, Warnock, because you up for election November 2028, just like Donald Trump is. And see, I'm going to tell you, the beef between me and Isaac is not about Donald Trump. It can't be. It can't be. He's on my advisory board with Greg Provenzano, Stedman Graham, Kim and Robert Kiyosaki, yeah. Greg Provenzano. Like what? So he's not coming to make me erase a curriculum he contributed to. That's not happening. He already got what the fuck he went out of Isaac and Alveda. So, I mean, what the fuck is he talking about? My challenge was with you, Warnock. Now, when they put the video together, you know, it seems like your staff running them out of here, running out of Ebenezer, running them out the King Center, running down to Georgia State, they had the racetrack, then they inside of Kinley's, and you know you got your little political influence, you got them doing all the events, then run them out of there. Aren't you the first black senator? Aren't you ending mass incarceration, the biggest issue affecting black males? Is that because you care about it, or is that because you weaponizing law enforcement against it? So y'all understand, this wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't side work. It was preparation for what our elders knew was coming. The digital economy, our independence, the resurrection of Progress Plaza, the Kingdom Marketplace, everything we built, everything we preserved, everything we learned led to one thing. The one thing they all talking about not doing. Entrepreneurship, our teens, our young adults, engaging them. The one thing they fundraising over but never did. The Kingdom Marketplace. Our world's first AI-powered Kingdom Business Referral Network, the world's first AI-powered entrepreneur ecosystem. It's the resurrection of select patronage. We're withdrawing our economic support from those corporations, for profit and not. King Inc. for profit. Ebenezer Baptist Church right now for political assent. We withdrawing our economic support from Willie Watkins, funeral home, folk that's getting paid on our community and not doing shit for our community. Really community terrorists to our community. And just like my spiritual father did with the real select patronage that they rewrote. The King Center didn't rewrite the story. King Inc. is. Bernice, you went on InvestFest stage in 2024 and talked about this economic movement that you was doing. That was promo for your bank, baby. And I know you're pretentiously entitled and protected, but you're going to learn about the Holy Ghost today. Urban Success University is the modernization of MiniUniversity. The platform for our young entrepreneurs. Digital home for our businesses. Economic engine for our daughters. The fulfillment of everything William Herbert Gray, Leon Howard Sullivan, and our mothers taught us to make sure we pass on to our children. Through the Kingdom Marketplace, to Urban Success University, finally, the work is done. My father used to say, champions don't qualify on last year's stats, nor last generations. We know what our fathers did 30, 40, 50 years ago. We know what our mothers died and ascended 20 years ago. What the fuck have y'all done for the past 20 years? We need, and they brought this up, Martin Luther King talked about it, the court of public opinion. We're not letting you play this 501c3 game no more and shuffle all this money away from our community. We holding you the fuck accountable. We independent, we free, and we alive. And with Senate Bill 36, signed by Governor Kemp, I know y'all ain't seen me do this to a sitting elected official. Yeah, Governor Kemp, you deserve the first believing soldier Chris salute. Senate Bill 36, God told you, the heart, he not the king, of the government official is in the hand of the real king. The structural entanglements are gone. The denominational tyranny is gone. We ain't at war with nobody. We not trying to replace anyone. We not trying to compete with anyone. Y'all, that's why it's up there. Y'all remember Planet of the Apes? When they came to try to fight Caesar, they was like, oh shit, it's a whole lot more of them than we thought. Y'all don't want war. We don't want war. We just want to live. We're not trying to compete with nobody no more. That's what they do. We want freedom. We want to continue the work assigned to us by the mothers who raised us. That's it. Period. Like our baby girls say. Now, y'all like, King Jetto, who the frick are you in all this? I'm the lightning rod. That's what I am. I'm lightning rod. What do you get lightning rod for? To take the lightning so it protects the house. I'm not here to attack. I'm not here to blame. The niggas can't even fight. They lawyers can't even fight. I'm damn sure not here to fight. I'm here because I made a promise. I was born Samuel William Boynton III. My name got changed as a child in Togo after an encounter with the griots of the Derlo tribe who spoke into my future. I was raised as a spiritual segregate baby, a child set apart, taught by the prophetesses and the mothers who saw what I could not. I grew up to become a boy. Everyone thought was a community legend. And all I ever did was obey the instructions of my mamas, like a good little black boy in the basement of the Black Baptist church is supposed to. I'm keeping my word straight up and down on everything I love. I made it to the mothers who built me. I'm keeping my word to Yolanda. I'm keeping my word to Amazing Grace. I'm keeping my word to Cynthia. I'm keeping my word to Coretta. I'm keeping my word to Edythe. And I'm making sure our daughters know the truth of our mothers. You got a fucking problem with it? Kick rocks. Because Governor Brian Kemp ain't going nowhere. For a little bit. And we already built the church. Turned the biggest dope corner into the sanctuary in 2012. Busting at the seams. What? The Holy Ghost ministers in all truth. We documented the truth, corrected the falsehoods, protected our children, and continued the work. And that's why I'm speaking to you like this today. As your dean and your chairman, that's why Urban Success University stands and will continue to stand. Yeah, we survived 18 years of attack. Yeah, we survived the funding cuts. Yeah, we survived the institutional shifts. Yeah, we survived the attempts to erase us. We survived everything that Satan threw at us. How? By the amazing grace of God. And now that same grace by which we rise again. Urban Success University lives. The legacy lives. Our mothers live through all of us.
You're a faithful, faithful God. I have seen what you can do. I have seen your power in my life.
Oh, look at that. I got 3 more minutes. We're going to close out with praise and worship. I wore a lot of different hats, man. I found one that fit. Ladies like, he's such a redemptive God. I like this. I like this. But this right here, this right there, what? We're going to close. I love you almost as much as the Father. On behalf of the Father, have an amazing day on purpose. And never forget the Father made each and every single one of you amazing on purpose. Today is November the 19th, 2025. This has been your day with the Dean.
Yes, you are a mighty God. None can be compared.